Hello and welcome. Today we're in Brazil and the Curvelo circuit. It's quite a nice, tight, twisty little circuit, this one. Quite flowing. It should be interesting racing, probably slightly different sort of racing to normal. Quite aggressive, I would imagine. There's a lot of places where you can you can work well as both attack and also defence, and one leads into the other. So it should be quite a frantic race, I think, today. So today's race will be the usual 20-minute race on the default date, which is the 1st of April 2020, starting at 1 o'clock with medium cloud, standing start, no pit stops, and a heavy rubbered circuit. Our opponents will be the usual maxed out JCW Mini Grid with the maxed out skill level of 120 with high aggression, but today we're starting from 18th, which should make things even more frantic in the first few laps. The setup of the car today is again a continuation of our learning from the original Bathurst changes we made. We've moved on to many circuits and we've adapted that learning everywhere we've gone, and everywhere we've gone so far it has been an improvement over previous setups I've had from previous versions of this game stroke sim. And Curvelo is no different. We have come here and gone quicker than my previous setup and done it more consistently as well. So just a quick run through of where we are with it. So tyres, brakes and chassis. Started to see a trend where we're bringing the rear tyre pressure down a little bit to add a bit more stability at the back. Seems to prefer it this way. So we've got slightly lower rear tyre pressure. Brake bias is hovering around 60 to the front, 58 to the front-ish, somewhere around there. Seems to be the sweet spot for it. On the suspension, we have gone back to spring rate 1, unlike the last circuit we were at. We have slow bump of 3 on the front, 4 rebound, and slow bump 4 and rebound 4 on the rear. The slow bump on the front was dropped. It started off as 4-4, 4 and 4. I dropped the front bump by 1 click just to try and help get the front end down a little bit quicker. Trying to get it into the, not into the apex, but just trying to get everything working instantly. It seemed to help. It's how it feels. Again, I'm not an engineer. I don't know if that's what's actually happening, but that's how it feels. It just seems to help the front get into the corner from the moment you turn turn the wheel. It just seems to help. So I had the slow rebound at the back set to 3, and that felt like it was too much. It felt like it was getting to the front too much. So I held the back down for a little longer, or slowed the rear lifted, and allowed the front to drop a little bit. So that seemed to be a happy compromise. As far as suspension goes, that's all we did. And on the drivetrain, we've got 8 clutches again. 6 didn't like 6, didn't like, well, 10 wasn't as good as 8, and it didn't like 6. So the gap between 6 and 8, I would say, is a bigger gap in feeling, in a negative way, than what 8 to 10 is. But 8 seems to be the happy medium for the car, at least in this version at least. The preload we went to 175, so we're kind of around the Silverstone National circuit sort of tension there, or sorry, preload. Yeah, I was surprised because it's quite a bumpy circuit. So I thought that it was going to go more towards the Bathurst end of preload, but it didn't. It stayed fairly low. We're going to have anti-lock brakes set to 3. Even at 1, even when it was balanced, I just found I was easily locking corners. There's a lot of braking there's a lot of trail braking. I just found that using the anti-lock brakes just took away that pressure, especially in a racing situation, which there's going to be a lot of that today. So a bit of anti-lock braking help, I'm quite happy to accept. And we're going to have a full tank of fuel today. We're a bit quicker than the AI, hence starting from 18th. It's well balanced in a lot of places, but there's 3 or 4 key areas on the circuit where you as a player have a big advantage over the AI. So over the course of a lap, it balances out a lot in the player's favour. So without further ado, let's get on track and see how we can get on from 18th. Nice, excellent. Frantic first lap. Bit every man for himself. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. LS to be an 8th, is it? Jesus. You've really got to make your chances here. You've got to be really aggressive. It's not how I like to race. But I do like to win. And I'll race however I've got to race to achieve it, as long as it's not dirty. I'm quite surprised at how much you can cut the apexes. Without getting the track limits. I guess it's kind of similar to Alton Park in that respect. You have to really take the mickey out of the track limits to get a decent time out of it. I'm quite surprised we haven't had one yet. Amazing. Not even that. Sweet. Right. Not really much time to breathe on this track, is there? things out a little bit. We've got 10 minutes. And we're in the fun zone now. We might be in 4th, but I think we're the ones that are actually in control of this race now. Spend a few laps just sitting on the racing line rather than manoeuvring around and trying different things to get past people. Just yeah, clean everything up, ready to go again. Flash of the brakes, that's going to compromise you. Basically a free pass. Shaw's dropped back a bit. Looks like it's just me and Porter. No real pressure from behind then. Let's take advantage of that. Take our time and let's see where we're quicker and do it. They're pretty good in the first half of the lap, aren't they? And we kind of really gain it in only a little handful of corners. We earn our lap time in different ways again. Here is one of them, the exit of here. We really they take a stab of brake on the apex of the right, and then we're good into here as well, and then they're very good into here and the exit, but they're very slow on the exit of here. So maybe up to here. Sorry. Pay attention, Andy. Sorry. It's a bit too easy to defend that though. Place where it's going to be, you don't need any cooperation. Exit of this fast chicane, if we can do it, if we can get it set up. Whee. Not this lap then. Might be close enough. We might be close enough. It's going to be a bit. No. What have we got? We've got 2 more laps, right? Desperate yet, are we? If we're still here, this time next lap, maybe we'll change a little bit. Close to this lap, aren't we? Cheeky. Oh, if that had been the last lap, that would have been a mega finish, wouldn't it? But it's not. So, nice, easy, calm lap, bring it home. But they are good in the first half of the lap, so got to be on my toes. But a good, sensible, clean lap should do the trick. Good, isn't it? Oops. Not so good there, though. Nice. Nice. Not unhappy with that effort at all. A few close moments, but generally speaking, pretty clean. The track doesn't lend itself to clean racing, I have to say. It's very, not in a bad way. You know, yeah, it's a good, nicely balanced circuit for attack and defence. Right, let's get into the replay, shall we? I quite enjoyed that race, but for very different reasons to normal. It's not my ideal sort of racing. The track lends itself to attack and defence, which means that to make progress you've got to be really quite aggressive, and you've got to make moves that I'm not that comfortable with making. Don't get me wrong, I will make them if I have to, but if they're the sort of moves that I would avoid if I could help it. You've got to be very tight on someone on the apex. You almost got to squeeze them a little bit to not sacrifice yourself too much. You know, if you're kind on a track like this, you'll just go backwards. You've got to keep pushing. Yeah, it's just a different style of racing, I suppose, and it's not one I particularly enjoy doing because it makes me feel like I'm being horrible to people. But it's racing, you know. It's not a tickling contest. You've got to get out there and make it happen. So it is what it is. Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. You've really got to attack this circuit. There's a lot of time to be found, and I think Razor have got a little bit of work to do with the AI. Certainly the AI in the first half of the lap. They're very good. They just creep ahead a little bit, and then as a player you're better in a few key areas, and on balance the player has the advantage. But generally speaking, though, still a good race, so I'm not unhappy at all. Yeah. Well, if you've enjoyed what you've seen today and you've enjoyed watching hopefully what you think is a good race, please do consider liking and subscribing, and until the next time, we'll see you later.